What's up, guys? D1 here. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here with Russ, who is currently in the Philippines. Russ, what's going on, brother?
Doing good, man. Just living the life.
Love it.
Enjoying the vacation.
So we're going to cut right to the chase, guys. There are, I think, probably about a dozen questions here that we're going to rip through and give you guys some information on. But let's, Russ, just quickly, do you want to maybe just talk about 2017 and kind of where you're seeing Kindle moving? And again, most of the people that are in here are either lifetime customers or yearly customers. So we definitely don't have to talk about beginner stuff. I think just maybe a good focus on what 2017 looks like for you and where you think people should take their time and focus on.
Definitely. So it's basically what you've been saying for like the longest time, you know, because you had that vision. And that's what we've been doing. So definitely it's going to be a lot of branding, and the lists are like super important. That's I'm at about 14,000 subscribers now, and for January I'm going to do 20,000 this month.
Right.
So it's definitely because of just branding, having that raving audience, and just building your list and just putting out the best quality content you can put out. You know, several rounds of editing, just all the stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. On the same token, like we're seeing a lot of people breaking through now, like 3 or 4 months in, doing 15, 20 grand a month, which is crazy. I mean, 2 years ago, it wasn't even on anybody's radar. So I think if there's a common theme for 2017, it's just for people to single focus and focus on one thing. Like if you're, if you're in the dog training niche, like commit to the dog training niche, build your brand, build your authority, build a list, and don't jump around, because the people that are jumping around, you're just going to be in the same place a year from now. There's more money on Amazon than I've ever seen before, even from 2 years ago. So, just back to the basics, master what's already in front of you guys. You guys have all the tools that you need already. There is no special trick or hack that's going to get you there. It's going to come down to single focus and brand development and really building a relationship with the readership. I mean, and man, if you're in the fiction niche and you don't have an art team, I think you're going to be losing there. But let's jump right into the questions. So first one here from Valerie. So she's not looking at doing the normal publishing model, getting a bunch of writers and scaling up, and wants the courage to step out to 2 markets where she'll drill down vertically. So she says, I know your heart is around adding value and building brand, raising people up. So I know there'll be tips and tricks you can talk about for people who go down this less traveled road. Okay, so I guess the question is going down 2 niches. Here's the bottom line. No matter what, your first books are going to be crappy. And Valerie, I can pick on you a little bit here because I've seen you for the last year and a half. Just take action. Really, I don't know if there's anything else I can tell you short of take action. Start publishing books. And yeah, if you want to build 2 authorities, build 2 authorities. I mean, I'm in 3 or 4 different businesses right now, and I'm building authority within each. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're relevant for each other, but just start. Really, that's what it comes down to. Start and commit to, if those are going to be the 2 things you do, commit to those 2 things and don't let anything else kind of pull you away. I think there's too much shiny object syndrome in the industry, and that's where people are getting pulled, midstream. They're finishing up a project and they move on to something else and move on to something else. And then 6 months later, they've got nothing to show for it. So if those are 2 things that you're passionate about, do it, but commit to those 2 things and don't let anything else kind of pull you. From a technical standpoint, I think you have all the information you need. There's enough courses. You've got us for support. It's just a matter of burning the bridges on other stuff and kind of moving forward on that. Russ, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, man, definitely. Yeah. Just like you said, in the beginning, you're going to start a bunch of pen names. And, if it doesn't stick, you move on to other. But if something's working, you just want to drill down to it and then turn that pen name into authority. Like I'm on my, maybe like the 4th or 5th one, but I've been doing this 5th one for over 2 years now, and that's why I've been able to become the authority in my niche. So just get started, like you said, and then drill down.
Right, and don't look for success 3 months out or 4 months out. It might take 6 months. It might take a year. I don't know. Like I can't tell you how long it's going to take you to succeed, but if you're jumping around every 3 months to a new idea, you're never going to give it time to percolate. So that would be my advice: is just to kind of stay focused on the one thing, or 2 things if you want to do it that way. Michael's asking, good way to gauge success for somebody just starting out. What would you determine if you're succeeding? Financial, sales rank, and should you consider a success or failure? Um, I actually don't like looking at success or failure based on income, because it may not necessarily mean that you're succeeding or you're failing. I think a better way of looking at it is, you know, let's say you've got a goal of $10,000 a month. You should be asking yourself daily, is my understanding better or worse based on this book that I released, or based on this product that I released? Because look, you might fail 3 books in a row, but your understanding of how to build that $10,000 a month business has been greater. I think too many people focus on making that initial money up front and then don't give themselves an opportunity to make the mistakes and really learn from the market. Again, there's people right now that have published 1 book and are making like $2,000 a month, which to me is insane. I mean, it took me 3 months and a bunch of failed books to figure it out. So, you know, if you want a real gauge of success, I mean, if it's selling, it's a success. But just because you've put a book up there or you put a product out there and it's not selling doesn't mean it's a failure. You should be looking at it as, what can I learn from this in order to move to that next level? I mean, Russ, you started off in nonfiction and moved to fiction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I just saw that, you know, I could get my goal closer doing the fiction route. And exactly like you said, because you might try a bunch of things and it's not going to click, and then one day everything's just going to click, and then you're going to seem like an overnight success, right? But you've been through just all the grinding and the learning process, and that's what happened to one of my students too. He's actually doing over 10,000 this month from that 1 book, and he's been putting out books after books for months, even before he started coaching with me. And then finally, like, everything clicked, and like, this book is a bestseller. He's got like tons of fans. And now I know he will be successful just moving forward and going to have crazy launches.
Right, but the key point is, great, he made that 1 book and it's doing $2,000 a month, but the build up, but are all those 10 books prior to that a failure? Absolutely not. They're not a failure. They were just learning lessons along the way to get to that goal.
Definitely. He's just been building up, and now everything just clicked all at once.
Right. And to be a little bit more specific, I mean, I wouldn't publish a book if 3 of the competitors within the niche are not doing under 100,000 sales rank. I wouldn't publish a book, period. So that's kind of my litmus test. You know, if the book's at 150 or 180 or 200,000 sales rank, there's not going to be enough volume of sales in order to make money there. So, I mean, if you want like a hard and fast rule, 3 books under 100,000 is kind of where I would be, and then jump into there. So moving on to the next question, do launches do better a certain time of year or certain days of the week? Not really. It's really based on your audience. I mean, Russ, you want to maybe talk about your ARC team and how you maybe...
So for fiction, definitely you will notice a big spike in December. December to like beginning of January, like your page is read. It's going to be how a lot of people get the Kindles, and they get the free subscription to Kindle Unlimited, like a trial period. So now you'll just see like your page count's going to like increase by 50%. So you make like 50% more. And certain days of the week, I'm not sure about launches. I don't really look into launches, but I definitely do better on the weekend. Like Saturday, Sunday, and even Mondays are like my biggest days, and I've seen that consistently for about a year or so now. Okay,
but then I can also ask you a second question and say, okay, great, December passed. Does that mean launches are not going to work in January?
No, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's just but you're not going to wait, until December to launch. But that's the best time. But don't worry about it. Just launch.
Okay, I think the next question also applies to you. So working on a tight budget, which they target between new book launches?
So 30K fiction book. So it takes about a month. So I think a month is a good time if you're going to do those one book a month, 30K, just so people don't forget about you. But yeah, I think that's solid. I mean, there's some legit writers who write like bigger fiction books, and they maybe put out 4 or 6 a year. So that's fine. Just make sure it's like super high quality, and you just kind of stick with people. And it's actually good because you don't have to focus on launching 1 book a week or 2-3 books per month. You can just put all your marketing efforts and focus and getting reviews on this 1 book. So I think it'll be great starting out.
Yeah, I'm gonna also agree on that, because you almost want to have your list time to breathe and time to consume your content. And if you have the entire month to promote that 1 product, they're gonna like you almost don't want them to get gun shy, like your email list. If you're pounding your email list, twice a week, every week for a new book, after a time they're kind of gonna get burnt out. So I mean, that's also going to come from experimentation, but I do like the idea of like a one a month or one every 3 weeks, where it gives your list time to breathe, let them know that the new book's out, have them consume it, have your art team leave reviews. But again, with a tight budget, I guess, you know, you're not going to be launching every week regardless. Next question is, can we talk about formatting a book using Calibre? I personally have never used any formatting software. I had a template made up with my team, and then they just threw it into the template, and away I went.
I'm exactly the same. I use Calibre to convert books from like Word docx to PDF, EPUB, and Mobi and stuff, but I do all my formatting in Word.
Okay, cool. Is there such a thing as a niche that's too crowded? Absolutely not. I don't believe in, yeah, I'm trying to, saturation, I think, is a word that a lot of people throw around. I don't believe in saturation. If you're, you know, if you're creating a high value product that's higher than your competitors, saturation doesn't matter. And then on top of that, it's your unique voice. You know, I'm sitting at a coffee shop right now. They're not Starbucks. Does that mean that they shouldn't be in business because there's a Starbucks down the street, or there's a Tim Hortons down the street, or, you know, everybody is going to consume your content for different reasons. And that's kind of why I talk about branding a lot. You know, if you're presenting your unique voice, people are going to relate with you. Like, you know, some people might like my approach about talking. Some people might like Russ. Some people might like, you know, other people out there. And that's why there's so many thought leaders within spaces. So similarly for your book, I mean, as long as it's a high quality book and you're putting it out there in a unique way, I don't think there's such a thing as too crowded. On the other hand, though, if you think that you're just going to go and slap a product up in a crowded niche and think that it's going to sell itself, you're going to be sadly mistaken too. You've got to put yourself out there in a unique way. You know, in a way that people can relate again. Again, if it's just going to be a cookie cutter product, well, then good luck. You don't deserve to win anyways.
Yeah.
Russ, what about you on that?
100%, man. I mean, there are some, you know, golden nugget niches out there. There's, it's like the holy grail, you know, lots of demand and not enough competition. But I mean, it's, I don't know, that's probably like a rare thing. Instead, I'd rather go and compete in niches where there's a lot of traffic and where there is a lot of competition, because my goal wouldn't be to just be like one of everyone else. You want to rise to the top, and that's where all the money is.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just how it's fiction.
Don't be big fish in small ponds. Be, you know, be that small fish in big pond and work your way up, because it's going to be that much more, the payout will be much, much more worthwhile. And honestly, the barrier of entry is a lot higher, which is great too. Yep. Maintaining quality control using different ghostwriters and maintaining consistency and tone under one pen name. I actually only use one ghostwriter per pen name to keep the consistency within the voice. And that's why, I mean, nothing against ghostwriting services. I had one before, but I really believe that owning the relationship with your writer is the best way to move forward, and then pay them for it. I mean, if your books are crushing it, lock that writer down and have them keep writing. So I've never mixed writers in pen names. I've picked one writer and moved that pen name forward. And what about you, Russ?
I actually do. This is one question I get a lot. So I have like three writers writing for that one pen name, but I had to go through maybe like 20 of them to, you know, screen and make sure the quality is like just top notch. And even then they go through like editing, and if it's not good, they don't get published under that same pen name. But as long as the quality is it's up to my standards and it's high, then it doesn't matter. But make sure, you know, they stick to one series. So if one ghostwriter writes one series, it's all the same tone. Then another series is going to be totally different. Everything's going to be a little bit different. So shouldn't matter. I mean, just like Harry Potter's, you know, every Harry Potter movie was directed by a different director, but people still love it.
And that's, I guess, on your end, making sure that the vision is consistent throughout the series and you directing that, rather than just kind of saying, here, write it, and then hoping for the best.
Yeah.
I get it there. I like the rooster in the back. I love it. So next question here, can you go over the process of hiring a virtual assistant, what tasks you would delegate, and what you would do yourself? At what point do you hire a VA manager? Okay, so there's no point in delegating until you feel that, how can I put this? Like, you've got a certain wage in your business, right? You know, maybe you work for $30 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour. If you feel like your time is being spent on $3 an hour tasks, now it's time to outsource. But on top of that, you need systems in place. So you know, uploading to KDP, creating covers, setting up templates, rank tracking. I mean, you guys are all Kbook customers, so going into Kbook and analyzing your books, all that stuff can be done by a VA. I think planning your actual product, so the product line, picking your titles, picking your keywords, I think should be personally done by you. You know, managing the day-to-day of sending emails between writers, all that stuff can be done by your VA. But I think, you know, you as the entrepreneur, you're in charge of the marketing, you're in charge of the vision, you're in charge of, you know, the product line creation. So I think that's where you should be holding on to it. The people that I've seen that have completely automated themselves out of the business entirely, the business runs itself, but then other competitors that where people are in the business trying to market kind of come up and take the market share. So I think there's a fine line between fully automating the business and being kind of in control. I mean, Russ, what do you think about that?
And I still do everything myself. For the VA, I'm just thinking of hiring someone for like formatting, but there's maybe replying to emails, but there's not that much. I mean, for fiction, that you need a VA for, really. I don't know.
Right, but you're also not doing the covers. You're not. Are you formatting the books yourself?
Yeah, right now I do, but I have a template, so it's easy. But I can give that to a VA. I don't make the book. Sometimes it's rare if I make the covers myself, but covers are like the #1 thing that sells. So I think you should do the covers yourself, like select the models or whatever like that. You're the CEO. I think you should do the covers yourself, but other things like Devon said could be done by a VA.
I also want to say, like, the 4-hour work week dream, it's maybe sustainable for 6 to 8 months. And look, like, I'm a poster child for it, right? Like, it's sustainable for 6 or 8 months, but then if you're not emotionally invested in it, the business, like, it'll suffer no matter what. Your competitors will come along and scoop it up. So, you know, there's definitely places where you can automate, but just make sure you're automating for the right reasons. If you're going to automate to leave the business and do something else, you've got to basically train another CEO to run it, like as if you're running it. Like, I think, Russ, that would be the only way that business would continue growing.
100%, man. I'm like really super vested in this business.
Yeah, I agree. Sub-niching a book. For example, you have a book that is selling well in a particular niche. What is the best way to come up with new titles in the same niche? Okay, so this is a pretty easy one for sub-niches for me. Assuming you're in nonfiction, I would literally just write down 100 problems that person has and then see if there's other books. So as an example, if they're in, you know, if you've got a golfing for beginners book, well, what else would golfers need to learn? They need to learn how to drive. They need to learn how to putt. They need to learn how to select clubs, and just literally write down short game, long game, all that sort of stuff. I would write down all of their problems and then literally go to Amazon and see what other books are selling that are successful, and then just start there. I can't really speak for fiction. I mean, what would you say on fiction, Russ?
Yeah, fiction's easy. I mean, the thing with nonfiction is, you know, you teach someone how to golf, now they learn it. You might sell them, you know, short game, long game. And if you solve their problem, they're not going to buy more books. If you don't solve their problem, they're not going to buy from you. They're going to go buy someone else. But with fiction, if you like billionaire romance, I can keep giving you billionaire romance throughout the year until billionaire romance isn't selling anymore. So it's pretty easy in fiction. There's going to be different storylines, different plots, different characters, but it's the same thing, and you maybe try to make them better from the feedback you get from reviews. And
that's the beauty with the fiction market, is it's entertainment rather than problem solving. So if they're into a certain thing, like if we're car guys and we're into cars, we're going to always be into cars, and we'll just keep consuming the content. So that is one of the beauties of kind of that fiction realm. Just looking here, 2 authors on a book, both pen names you own. How does it work on Amazon? Can you make an author page for both names on it? Yeah, I think up to 3. Is it still 3 authors for Author Central?
Yes.
And I would highly suggest building out the brand. Like, don't just buy a stock photo and start a Twitter username and consider that done. Like, if you're gonna do it, commit to it and commit to the brand. Question about page flips, on or off?
Off.
And why?
You make it happen. You want page flips off because it kind of messes with your page read count. I'm seeing less and less of this now. I don't know if it resolved, but you can fix it. I posted that link. Juto page flip hack under his question.
Okay, awesome. Looks like we've actually run to the end of the questions. I don't know if there's anybody else on here. If you want, you can just leave a message below. Ultimately, guys, I just want to like nail it as clear as possible. There is no secret sauce. There is no secret hack that's going to make you overnight $1 zillion. We're really seeing the emergence of brands like super crushing now, which is great. I think a lot of the Amazon readers have kind of realized that the chintzy self-published books are not where to go. And if you hold your audience, man, you're in for a treat. And for people in the nonfiction realm, I want you to start thinking of your books as a funnel. Like, think of that as just a front-end product. Create a course behind it. Create coaching behind that. Create a deep funnel, because, I mean, let's put this in perspective. To make $15,000 a month, you would need to sell, what is that, 7,500 books a month, approximately?
Yeah.
Or you could have 15 coaching students at 1,000. Which one do you think would be an easier opportunity? So, for those people in nonfiction, really start thinking about your funnels now. Really start, developing a back end. And once your books are doing amazing, maybe flip a couple to perma-free to start getting traction that way, and really start driving, start driving leads and start driving traffic. I mean, Russ and I've got YouTube as a traffic source, but I also have other traffic sources, and that's why this business has continued to keep building. So don't just rely on Amazon's traffic alone. Start thinking outside the box and start thinking about building past it, because at some point you're going to want to, and you should be thinking about building out. Maybe you move into FBA, I don't know. But don't limit yourself mentally thinking that this is the only thing you can do. There's 100 ways you can spin it. But mind you, on the flip side, I mean, Russ, for fiction, I mean, you're tripling down on Amazon and you're crushing.
Yeah, man. So just like you said, everyone's like, I see the big logos, people coming out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
just crushing in like a few months. But the branding's on point. Like, they got logos. They're like really involved with their fans, and like the marketing's on point. Covers look amazing. The books are not just 10,000 words. Just throw it here every week. Everything's just on point. So I saw that, and I don't want to lose my spot. So I'm like tripling down, and the money's tripling up too.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome, Russell. I super appreciate it, man. I know internet connection is a bit spotty for you right now.
Yeah.
If anybody else has any other questions, you guys can leave it within the group, but hopefully this is valuable. I will post the replay within the Facebook group. And again, guys, just put your head down, stay single focused, and you guys will crush. There's so much money to be made on Amazon right now. It's just a matter of you guys committing to it. And you've got so much support in our groups. I mean, there's people that are absolutely smashing it, that are more than happy to help, but you guys got to commit in yourself first.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Russ. Super appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.